Some of you aren't broke, right? You're just on the way to becoming rich. Let's call you pre-rich. Your time hasn't come yet, but you might share some of these early signs that one day, probably soon, your reality will match your potential. Here are 15 signs you're pre-rich. Welcome to Alux, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. You're obsessed with money and making money. If money is your number one obsession and you're smart, you'll probably end up rich. If you're not that smart, you might end up either rich or in jail. But nobody who's willing to pursue a goal nonstop for over a decade will fail. You will get rich. It might take 5, 10, 20 years to get there, but eventually you will get it right. You watch videos like these, you listen to podcasts, you read books, you know how much things cost and how much people earn to be able to afford those things. You speak money, you don't have it yet. You won't stop until you're rich. For some people, wealth might be something they dream about, they wish about, but not for you. For you, it's destiny. It's not a desire as much as it is the only path forward. It's hard to fail when you remove the notion of quitting from your head entirely. You told people since day one you're going to be rich, and now it's time to live up to that prediction. You can see a path to wealth. Not only do you think it's possible for you to get there, but you've got a rough idea of how you're going to get there. Winning the lotto or getting lucky is not a part of the plan. You've got this mapped out. First you do this, then that, then money starts coming in. We're not talking about a business plan the way they teach you in business school, no, but it's more than an idea. You know there's a demand for what you offer, so it's a matter of going through the motions. Time and effort are the only two things separating you from making it. You were always able to make additional money when you needed to. Many people complain they don't have enough money to start something, but not you. You were always able to monetize your time and skill set. You're not above doing manual work or getting a job to support yourself or use as seed for your projects. For you, that's the only reason you would take a job. Deep down, you know about yourself and you're unemployable in the long term. You're not cut out for the corporate culture and you've got no desire to play corporate games. You're busy building the thing that will get you rich on the side. You understand different ways to make money. You've always had this ability to comprehend the flow of money. You don't hate the rich because you know you can never become something you hate. While your loser friends all think rich people are corrupt and thieves, you see the grind, the effort, and the brains that go into building something worthwhile. While your friends are simple consumers, you want to be on the creator side of things. All of them desire money, but they don't comprehend money the way you do. You understand business models and how to get rich online. You understand how one gets rich through the stock market and how valuable cash flow and stores of value like real estate are. Poor people laugh at the things they don't understand. Take art, for example. Average people are not able to comprehend why a painting could be worth over $100 million, but you do. You know that art has been outperforming the S&P 500 for the past decades. You understand scarcity and the laws of supply and demand. You see the volume of people getting richer and you realize that they aren't making any more Picassos or Basquiats. While they think you need to be a billionaire or on the inside to make these kinds of investments, you know that technology has opened up this market to everyone. You can invest in art with as little as $1,000 through our sponsors at Masterworks. 900,000 people just like you invest with them, and every painting Masterworks has sold to date has delivered a positive return to their investors. They've been pulling in net returns like 14.6%, 17.8%, 21.5%, and even more. They have decades of data and experts that acquire art with the sole purpose of holding it and reselling it later for profit. When they buy a piece, it gets split into shares, and you can trade those shares like you would invest in a traditional company. When the painting is sold, the profits get distributed among the investors. So far, they've acquired over 3,000 pieces from the best-selling artists out there, and as a company are closing in on $1 billion in assets under management. Now, normally there's a waitlist to be allowed to join the platform, but since you're a part of the Alux community, you can go to masterworks.art/Alux and get the VIP treatment and skip that waitlist. Start making money in art by going to masterworks.art/Alux or clicking the link in the description. Alright, so now let's get back to the signs that you are actually pre-rich. You can get people to trust you. You've never had a problem finding people to help. You are articulate and can paint a vision of what you want that people believe and are willing to follow. You see yourself as a leader in your pack. When your friends talk to you, they listen to your advice, and you can usually pinpoint exactly what their problems are. You treat people fairly, but are not afraid to stand up for yourself and see that you have your own path ahead of you. When you look at other businesses, you understand how they make money. Not only do you understand multiple ways of making money and that you can get people to trust you, but in your mind, you're able to put two and two together. You follow or develop a framework. You hire someone to do half of the job for you while you do the rest. You're able to sell that outcome to someone else for money. Between hiring and the selling, there's enough margin for you to call a business. When you buy a product, you have a feeling about what kind of profit margins the business is running. You know the $10 cocktail you're drinking costs less than $1.50 to make. Same with the coffee, the pizza, the office furniture, and so on. You've seen behind the curtain. You either grew up with entrepreneurial parents or somehow had access to seeing how the machine works. You've seen the math in real time. You saw where you buy the goods and how you sell the goods. Once you see behind the curtain, you realize it's not really rocket science here. You either copy exactly what you've seen or translate it to a separate niche. You can control yourself and live below your means. You've got self-control and are familiar with the concept of delayed gratification. Basically, you're willing to eat shit right now for a little while in order to eat caviar and champagne for the rest of your life. You're no stranger to living on little resources since you most likely grew up like that. So it's easier for you to survive on the bare minimum and throw everything else into this rocket ship that will take you to the moon. You find satisfaction in the fact that you're making progress. When you're presented with choices, you're able to distinguish between what has short versus long-term rewards. You choose the latter every single time. You have a rich mentor and invest in your education. You take your future seriously, okay? You follow people who inspire you, which is why you're subscribed to our channel. You learn and walk in the footsteps they've already laid out. You'd rather buy a book, a course, or go to a seminar than blow that money on alcohol. You have a yearly subscription to the Alux app and have already begun the process of increasing your income. You're one of the hundreds of thousands of people who've made real progress using our app. It's like having not one, but hundreds of executive coaches and mentors, all helping you to get ahead in life, and the results are already showing. We built the only app out there specifically designed to measurably improve the quality of your life. We'll help you get everything you want out of life, but let's get you rich first. Go to Alux.com/app and get yourself a yearly subscription. Once you complete the survey, all the fun begins. We'll see you in the app. You act with a sense of urgency. You know a good opportunity when you see it. You don't let great moments pass you by. Oh no, if you know something is good for your future, you don't postpone it, you take action. You make the investment, you sign up, you send the email, you do what you have to do. You act as if there's a ticking clock above you at all times. You're sick of having to wait, so you do everything in your power to accelerate your progress. Every day you do something that gets you closer. People ask you why you're in such a hurry, but hey, you don't have the time to explain to them just how big and bright the future is that you're headed toward. And even if you did, their minds wouldn't believe it. You hopped on an elevator going up. The industry you're in is growing on its own. You picked right, my friend. You're not selling newspapers here, and this is not a fad. You're on an upward trend. You've got a nose for what would be big in the future, and you made sure you hopped on that bus early. This gives you an early mover advantage. All you have to do is stick with it long enough that the industry matures. By the time it reaches mainstream adoption, you'll have seniority in your field. You'll be one of the experts capable of cashing in big time. It's the same with location. You move from a place where nothing happens to a place where everything happens, and now you've got all this opportunity available to you. If the elevator's going up and you stick with it, and you do the right thing for long enough, you simply cannot miss. You're already investing a percentage of your income. Poor people assume you have to have money to invest. Pre-rich people know you should be investing a percentage of your income no matter how small the income is. Because this serves three distinct purposes. First, it builds the habit of investing. If you can't control yourself when your income is low, you won't be able to control yourself when your income is high, if it ever gets high in the first place. Second, you make all the mistakes early when you, objectively, have only a little bit of money to lose. It's one thing to lose 50% of your portfolio when it's just a couple of $100 versus losing 50% when it's hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. And third, lastly, even if it's small, you're building a nest egg that you can rely on in the future. In the event of an emergency or opportunity, you can liquidate that and use those funds to put yourself in a better position. The best way to learn is by doing. So download any stock investment app out there. Vanguard, Revolut, Robinhood, eToro, Acorns, Fidelity, Ameritrade. The list is long, my friend. Pick one that's available in your region and buy yourself one share of the company that made the device you're consuming this piece of content on. It'll give you a sense of ownership and will teach you what the market is all about. Watching your money grow will make you want to play this game forever. You track your net worth. Most people have no idea what they're worth, but we can assure you all rich people know the exact number and they track it religiously. Net worth is the sum of everything of value someone owns, which makes it the greatest metric to measure how rich someone is and gives you an opportunity to optimize for it. Every asset you buy makes your net worth go up. Every debt and liability makes your net worth go down. The more clients and revenue your company generates, the higher the value of the company. If you're pre-rich, you've already put everything to your name on a list or an Excel sheet. All of your efforts are focused on making that number go up. And finally, your income went up at least 20% in the last 12 months. The last sign that you're already on your way up. Your income is your primary tool for building wealth. The golden rule for building wealth is this: you get rich when your income goes up and your lifestyle remains the same. Instead of spending your additional income, instead of upgrading the comfort of your life with a better car or a better home, that additional income goes toward investments, toward making money while you sleep. Pre-rich individuals control their income. If you don't, you will never be rich. You control your income by either working commission-based jobs, negotiating your salary regularly, and switching jobs that pay more, or you sign up more clients for your business. Both approaches allow your skill set to compound over time and get paid more in the future. Rich people get rich because their income goes up exponentially, not linearly. 20% year-over-year growth is regarded as the bare minimum in the early days, with 30 to 40% being the standard growth target. Now you know. So how many of these did you check off? Let us know in the comments if you are pre-rich or not. And since you're still around, well, here's a bonus for you. The 4 stages of wealth building. Very few people know this, so what you're about to learn will serve you well no matter where you are in your personal journey. Basically, you serve 4 managerial roles as you make progress to becoming rich. The first stage is client manager. At this stage, the client is always right. You need the client more than they need you, so you bend to their wishes because they gave you money. The client is your focus. This means you either have a small business or you're employed. The second stage is product manager. At this stage, you've got a couple of clients, and the priority is building a better product that draws more and more people in. The product is your main focus. At this stage, you've got a small business that's getting some traction, and you're getting close to achieving product market fit. The third stage is people manager. In every entrepreneur's journey, there's a point where you go from working on the product to working on the team that takes the product further. This is actually the first time when you have a real business. Your focus goes from the product to attracting, training, and managing the right people. When it's done, your business is already successful. You've achieved mainstream success. More money's coming in than you ever imagined. And the fourth stage is capital manager. This is where you go beyond your current role in the company and become a capital allocator. Basically, your job goes from managing your company to managing your own money. You invest in other businesses, you acquire businesses which you merge into your existing one and expand market share. It becomes a job all on its own. And if your plan is to eventually end up at stage 4, write the number 4 in the comments. Let's see how many of you will go from pre-rich to capital manager.